Welcome to Thought for the Week. As we go through the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at the names of God. There are many names of God in the Bible, in the Old Testament, lots of ways of referring to God. Even though our usage in prayer, what we call God, Lord, Jesus, might be minimal, the names of God are many in the Old Testament, and they reveal to us a bit about who God is, God's character, and what that means about who we are. So the first name of God that we're going to be looking at is Elohim. Elohim. It means Creator God. We first see this in Genesis 1:1, where Elohim created the heavens and the earth. We see that God created everything, the heavens and the earth. One of my old professors used to say, all good theology starts in Genesis. So that's where we start today. Elohim, mentioned as Creator God, continues on, and for 35 times in the next 35 verses, God is called Elohim, the Creator. All of this, including Genesis 1:2, where it says, the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of Elohim was moving over the surface of the waters. And then Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. All of this creation of God is referred to as ex nihilo, which means something out of nothing, something being created out of nothing. In addition to the heavens and the earth being created, we know that God then goes on and creates man. This same Creator God that makes something out of nothing creates us, human beings. Well, how does he feel about that creation? How does he see that creation? How should we see ourselves as creatures, ones who've been made? Well, Psalm 139 tells us, I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. The psalmist says, wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. When I was growing up, my stepmom used to have us repeat this phrase over and over again. She would say, Aaron, and of course I didn't enjoy this as a kid, but I appreciate it now. But she would say, Aaron, repeat after me. And I'd say, okay. She'd say, I am fearfully, and wonderfully made. And she'd go on to talk about how we're loved by our parents, and how we're loved by God, and how we're full of purpose. And certainly it annoyed me as a small child, but today it's built in me this foundation, remembering that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And so are you. So are you this morning. And that word in Hebrew, that phrase, fearfully and wonderfully, actually means I am an awesome wonder. Just take a second to think about that. You are an awesome wonder. You probably didn't wake up this morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself, man, I am an awesome wonder. But you are. That's how you're created. Fearfully and wonderfully. We often have a list of the things that aren't good about ourselves, don't we? That's what we carry around more in our minds than this realization that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. It's a little bit like when God was talking to Moses in Exodus 4, calling him to be this mouthpiece for himself with the people of God. And Moses says to him in Exodus 4:10, please, Lord, I've never been eloquent, neither recently nor in the past, nor since you have spoken to your servant. I'm slow of speech. I'm slow of tongue. But the Lord asks him in return, who has made your mouth? He's reminding him that he is a creation, and that Creator God, Elohim, has made him fearfully and wonderfully. It's as if Moses is politely speaking to God, and he's saying, you've just overlooked this one fact. I've got this kind of speech impediment, and you want me to speak in front of all these people in your name, use your words. And with this impediment, I don't think I can fulfill the assignment that you're calling me to, your purpose for me. But God gave Moses everything he needed for success because he was a creation. All he had to do was trust the great I am. We're like Moses. We tend to look at ourselves, our physical, our mental shortcomings, and instead of looking at Elohim, the one who's created us, who spoke into existence all of creation as well as humanity, and for whom no impediment is really an obstacle to his purposes. Where will your focus be today? Who will you look today for your identity, for your value? Look to Elohim, the one who's created you. If we give Elohim what we have, he can use it for his glory. Corrie ten Boom says, look around and be distressed. Look inside and be depressed. But look at God's name and be at rest. Elohim, the God who creates something out of nothing, will do this for you today. Bye.